Hello everyone, welcome to episode number 12 of the Realm SMP. Ooh, Wandering Trader. Well, I'm seeing 2 llamas, but I'm not seeing the Wandering Trader, which is kind of disappointing because I was willing to see what he had. Normally what I sell isn't too interesting. You can just, Normally what I sell is not too interesting. You can typically get it in other places, much easier than the trading. But we have a few special plugins here on the server that add some traits that we can't really get anywhere else sometimes, and that has to do with the mini blocks that we have. Haven't shown them off yet. Oh, I haven't really shown them off yet. And ow, that's an island. I haven't really shown them off yet, nor have I used them, but they're a very nice addition just to add a bit more life to the server. In fact, if you come right down here, we can see some of them in action. I'm not floating. Bookshelf had mini heads, I believe, or I think it's either normal bookshelf or chiseled bookshelf. I don't quite know. And you got some of the ice ones, and there's some skulk as well. Just a little way to add smaller details to our world. They were added somewhat recently, along with a few other plugins that I will definitely be using at my base soon, just not yet, including ones such as custom nether portal sizes and the armor stand mod, which is probably the biggest one that I'll be using because it can do wonders. Ferris has been doing great work with it, and ooh, I'm jealous. But with that being said, I do kind of want to take a step away from the island for today's episode. We've spent the last 2 episodes hanging out around here and doing some work. Obviously, episode 10 was working on these floating biomes, which still look absolutely magnificent. And the last episode 11, was spent building the observatory and setting up the anti-Martian defense. I don't quite know what the name is yet. I think I'm still waiting for Ferris to get back to me on that, as well as the crystal. But as much as I love working on this base, it's been really fun recently. I do want to take some time to just step away. I may do a bit of work, maybe some small islands here and there, and changing some of these small islands to different biomes, as I said I would do, but that'll come later if I have time. We're almost done with this base, and I don't really want to rush it too much. I need to give a bit more time before, I'm ready. With that being said, I don't really have many ideas for today's episode, so let's go check out the to-do list board and see if there's anything there that I can pick and choose from. And it's been a while since I've used it anyway. I should really get back into that, shouldn't I? I built an entire island for this thing, and I haven't used it since like episode 5 or something. A few things. First of all, the wake up is still down. Let me just quickly get rid of that. I'm fully awake. Second of all, I can't remember who it was. It was either Cole or Ferris, or Bean, I believe. I can't quite remember, but they changed it. They renamed the to-do list to the to-do list, which I'm going to keep because that's funny. And then here are 2 of our outlying projects. The railway, no, and the shopping district. So I think today we're going to be tackling the shopping district and trying to get it established and maybe even building a shop or 2. Now, I've been scouting out a few places around the server, and I think I have found one area to put the shopping district. Hopefully it's big enough. I really don't know what to expect. This is the first time we're doing this on the server, obviously, because this is the first time the server has really been around, and so we're experimenting. Don't know how this will go, but hopefully it's a good area where we can all build up our shops and have a little bit of fun with a bit of an economy, and making it easier on each other to actually get resources, because that can be annoying sometimes. So let me fly over there, and we'll just take one last look at it to make sure it's actually what we want. Look at all the animals on this mountain. What is going on here? Why are they all bunched up? And the poor grass can't grow quick enough. It's being eaten too quickly. This weird dirt patchiness is like a reoccurring thing for whatever reason along the server. I'm not entirely sure how it works. If anyone knows, make sure to let me know. I think I may have some ideas, but that's besides the point. So the shopping district is going to be in this general area, just kind of around. I don't have like a set idea of where I want the shops, nor do I really want to dictate that. It's kind of up to whatever everyone else wants. Now, I wanted to keep it close enough to spawn for new members, because that's a big thing for me. I want to make sure everything's accessible. And unfortunately, a lot of our spawn is actually just forested and not great area. This is like the only non-taken plains. There is a plain south, but the new members did move down there, so unfortunately we can't really use that area. And I like this area anyway, because you have these nice little islands. In case you want some shops here, you can have some shops in the water, maybe some boats type of thing. You have all the land over there, and it's close enough to spawn. For reference, Leah's base is literally right there. But I am probably going to cap the shopping district off at this river to try to, make sure Leah has her room. Because another reason why I want it over here is that it's far enough away from everyone else's base that it shouldn't interfere at all. Because Ferris and all the Westerners are over there, Autumn's over there, and I should be like right there-ish. But overall, I think this will be a very nice area for the shopping district. Now, as for what I'm going to do today, first of all, I'm going to tell everyone this is where the shopping district is to make sure they are aware. And at the same time, I'm going to be building a shop or two, mainly one, but I may throw in a little rocket shop too, because, I may as well make some profit off of these, because I believe I have the only functioning gunpowder farm on the server as of now. So, it's an untapped market. But first, I gotta build a building to hold a special thing for the server. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of the smaller blockheads you can only get from wandering traders, and that is not entirely what I want. I want the server to be able to use these however they want, whenever they want, without having to worry about what wandering trader will give it to them, because wandering traders are kind of rare and inconsistent, and it's only a chance to get the right block you want, so it could take like days, weeks even before you get the block you want. And so to counter that, I'm going to make use of another plugin we got that allows me to set custom villager trades. This is more admin stuff, by the way. So I can set custom villager trades, and I can make sure the villagers sell each blockhead. As for trade, like what you have to trade to get the blocks, I'm going to keep that to myself for now. That's kind of more admin stuff. I'll determine that. It'll be fair. It won't be outrageous. I don't think I'm even going to charge that much for it. Just probably the block, and you get 8 of them or something. I think this will allow the server a lot more room, especially Ferris, because I know Ferris is looking for some of the copper ones, but you can't really, you can only get the copper ones from the wandering traders. So I'm sure other people have this ones too. If I'm lucky as well, I'll throw in our player heads so we can get those, because I know those are also of demand. Okay, so it's been a few days since the last clip. I took a few days off just to kind of hang out, and I also spent some time working in a creative world trying to figure out the block palette and the general style and what I actually want from this first build. I've kind of settled on going for a bit of a Victorian style shopping corner shop. The section I'm building today will only be 1/4 of the entire build because it's a corner shop, so I'm going to have 4 corners. But I don't know how much time I have, and I definitely won't be able to finish it all in today's episode. So we're going to start with the 4th today, and if we have time, we may try to do another quarter of it, or maybe 2 quarters. I don't think I'll have time, though. We'll see. As for the blocks we need, it's going to take some sandstone, quartz, granite, brick, and deep slate mainly. There's a few other additional blocks in there, and the interior is also a bit different, but we'll get the interior later on. For now, let's do a quick resource grinding session and get ready to build this thing. I think it's going to look really cool when we're done. I'm very excited to see how it turns out. So, hi, Mr. Horse. So after a rather long resource grinding session, we have everything I think we'll need for this build. I may need some more quantities of stuff like bricks, but bricks were just so annoying to get. I had to mine the clay, which was not that bad. It was a bit annoying, but the hard part was smelting it all, because I do not have a lot of coal, and I don't have that many furnaces, so it just took like half an hour, and it was kind of painful. But we got all of the bricks we need, fingers crossed. On top of that, we got a lot of quartz. We got lots of granite, which I will need quite a few of, along with the bricks. Lots of sandstone, which I'll need for like accenting. Not really the main build, but detailing purposes. And then deep slate, which is for the roof. One key point that I want to make before you see the finished product of this is gonna be this back part. Because of how I made the shop, it's not really supposed to have a back part, because this part will be sharing a wall with other shops, so it won't really be seen. And so I'm just not gonna deal with it. I'll put something basic up in the back just to have the 4 walls done. But other than that, it's not my issue. With that being said, we better get into it and get cracking away on this build so we can get it done and get the shopping district officially started. So have another time lapse, guys, and I'll see ya in a minute. And just like that, our Victorian style corner store is done. I don't know how like Victorian this actually is, but that's what I'm calling it. I think it turned out really nice. There's just one key thing you have to do when looking at this build, and it's ignore the sides and back because these won't be visible, and so we're gonna ignore them. They don't exist, they can't hurt you. It'd be silly to actually put anything on the sides here because there isn't going to be any alleyways or anything between the buildings. They're gonna be right back to back, so like there's no point to me building something on the side, but it does look like a bit of an eyesore for the time being. But hopefully in the coming episodes, we'll go ahead and get that handled and maybe it'll look a lot better at the end. With that being said, I actually used way less oh my god, it's raining. It's thunderstorming, oh god. As I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by the constant rain in the server. This build took a lot less resources than I expected it to. Well, the bricks I did take a lot of. Birch logs didn't take much. That was always going to be like an over-exaggeration. Granite, I have quite a bit of. Also, don't mind the mess in the shulker boxes. I didn't really bother reorganizing them because I didn't see a point, but the deep slate used barely any, which is kind of frustrating because this is what took the longest, but we can reuse this later at least, so that's a nice thing. And the quartz also I didn't use a ton of, but it was also kind of annoying to get, and there wasn't a lot of it to begin with. And then sandstone I didn't use a ton of either, which is good because sandstone and birch logs are going to be the main walls for the interior, which is the next step. We have all of this room, and now we gotta fill it. I will make it known that I currently only have plans to use this first floor, and the second and third floors, or maybe even the attic, will come later if I see a purpose. My idea for this shop is just to have it kind of be like the server shop where we can do server stuff. Like get the mini blockheads. I don't really want those to be sold at a separate shop where other people control the prices because this is more community sided. So I'd rather have it baseline and it'll be in here. My personal shops will be on the other three corners of this and maybe other areas if I have like a specific idea for an item, but I kind of want to go for a bit of an emporium type of deal where I have the other three buildings connected and then I just sell whatever I really want to, have different displays and such. But that's besides the point, not necessarily for today. With that being said, it's time to start working on the interior. So let me get a few blocks and then I'll walk through this step by step. Okay, so I've laid a spruce floor, and before I go get the blocks, I do want to talk about what the palette in here is actually going to be because it's not the same as the outside. Outside, I had a lot of bricks and granite with the sandstone and slight birch accents, as well as, the deep slate and quartz top isn't relevant here. In here, I want to go for the birch again and sandstone. It's going to be a bright interior meshing with this dark floor, maybe some dark roofing type of thing, kind of. You'll see what I mean once I actually get to it. I also mixed in some bookshelves, and I need to separate these windows from the rest of this build here because these windows are going to have little nice displays in them. We'll have some armor stand stuff, which I'll be experimenting. Maybe not this episode, but we'll see if I have time. That being said, I will grab some more blocks, and then we'll start kind of forging the interior here. Okay, so I've done a bit of framework in here. I got the basic interior wall design done. This is basically what it's going to look like. Very simple, just birch, sandstone, mixed design. There's going to be a few more details, some bookshelves, and I'm going to have some overhangs as well. But this is the general shape that I'm going to be going for. Back in this corner, I'll have like an area that I'll put a staircase in eventually. I'm not going to put one there now because I don't feel like dealing with the second floor and above. I'm very, very lazy. But we have a few more things we got to do before we get to that. All right, another quick progress update. I got this front rooms outline basically done. There's some detailing that I'm going to have to do in here. I'm not very good at it, so I'll try my best. And I may not all be done today. I'll probably add on stuff as I think of it. But the big updates come through like these little hallways here, and then we're starting to get the main area kind of figured out. I figured here I would have like a little armor stand of me and maybe like a lectern, just telling people what the shop is and kind of how to use it. Specifically the first floor. I mean, it's very self-explanatory, but I want to make sure I'm thorough and everyone knows the purpose of it. And then on these walls, I'll have the various villagers. I'll have to do some admin stuff to make them have custom trades, but that won't be too bad, and that'll be something I do off camera. I have the overhang set up too. I'm going to have to put some blocks above it. I don't quite know what I'm going to do yet. I may continue with this, or I may go for the darker spruce again. We'll see. All right, another quick update. I've added some bookshelf detailing. And I've added in the pods for the villagers. This is where they'll sit. They can just walk up. I'll have them labeled, maybe with a mid block or a sign, I'm not sure. I'll probably have the actual list of where all the blocks are in the lectern here. But other than that, I just wanted to highlight how painful bookshelves are to get. I hate getting these. I have no good source of leather. I had to fly around killing horses and cows. I do have sugarcane luckily, so paper wasn't an issue, but the leather is just, ugh. Maybe that's a project we gotta deal with here in the next few episodes as well. It's all starting to stack up, I think. I get like a to-do list or something. Or a to-do list. And just like that, the shell is done. None of the details have been added in, but the build itself is done and ready to go. I think it looks really nice in here, and I think it'll serve its purpose very well. I don't know what I'm going to fill the space with yet. The only place I do know is right in here. As I said, I'll probably put myself and then the lectern. But all this other space is open for activities, so we'll figure that out in time. May not be this episode. I would like to introduce you guys to a new plugin that we have here on the server. I believe I've mentioned it before. It's the armor stand plugin, where we can make custom armor stands and make them do all sorts of sick poses and stuff, and like, you know, make half armor. There's a lot of stuff you can do. Mainly Ferris is the one who's been doing the most work with it, and his stuff looks amazing. And so now I want to kind of throw my hat in the ring here before I eventually add some custom armor stands to my floating islands in a few episodes' time to liven them up a bit. Let me get an armor stand and the book, and let's see if we can figure out how exactly this works. Okay, so we have the armor stand here right in place. I've done a little bit of looking through to find out specifically how to want, and I'm going to show you guys how this works. So for reference, this is the same plugin that is used on Hermitcraft. And so if you want an in-depth video, I recommend Zombie Cleo's video. I'll leave in the link in the description. But I'm going to freestyle this for now, and then maybe later I'll touch up once we get ready to do some of the floating biome stuff. This is a simple one, so I'm not too worried about it. Now, there's a lot you can actually do with these armor stands, and it's not even limited to armor stands. You can do stuff with item frames too. But first of all you gotta do is right-click on the block the armor stand is on, I believe. And then once you open your book, you have all these different options that you can go for, including styles, presets. We're dealing mainly with presets. So if we go to presets here, I'm going to go and start off with the stargazing preset, which gives me this, which I think is already mostly what I want. And then another thing you could do is with styles, you have a lot of options on like how specific stuff with the armor stand. So you can show the arms, show the base plate, so you can make it small, apply gravity to it. This is very nice for some more niche armor stand examples that Ferris has been using. Maybe we'll go and see those soon. You can make the stand invisible, which won't really work here. You can display the name, which again, won't really work here too well. So all I need to do here is just show the arms. And it's looking a lot better already now that I have arms. And the last thing that we'll be doing is with the pose adjust here, I need to go ahead and lower the Y1, I believe. Nope, I gotta raise the Y1. And then do it again. And then I just need to lower the X down one, I believe. Boom, there. And that is basically it, I think. Just a nice little, you know, welcoming armor stand. I may change the chest plate a bit. Maybe give it my signature little chain with one of the armor trims, but I don't have that right now. So maybe change the pants to blue as well, if I want to be completely, you know, realistic. But he does look very fine as is. Let me quickly write up a book and put it in here, and then I'll do the villagers, and then this build will be done. It's been quite a while, actually, since my last clip, about 12 hours or so. As you guys can see, it's looking a lot more messy in here, but at the same time, it's looking like we have some villagers set up with the proper trades. As I said, it's one of the big block and one emerald for 8 of the small ones. So all of the ores and valuables, which is, you know, ores and like valuables, have been set up, including the raw blocks like raw iron, gold, and copper. And then over here, we have the nether blocks, which, you know, are also set up and looking nice. I think it looks really cool just having all these in one menu. But it's also, unfortunately, revealed a very big problem that I did not account for. And this is due to lack of planning. Make sure you guys plan when you're doing projects like this. It's very important because I've been blindsided a bit. So I kind of made 2 major mistakes here. One, I underestimated how many trades these custom villagers could have. They can have up to 9, which wouldn't be that bad. But I also majorly underestimated how many blockheads there were. For reference, there's like over 150, I think. I don't know the exact amount, but I've gone ahead and I've put them all into categories that I'll split the villagers up into. And I've also finished the book, by the way. There's 26 pages, and each page has at least 9. I should only need 23 villagers because the first 3 pages are like introductory stuff and table of contents. So I'll need 23 villagers, and I have 6. And I have never to put them down here. So it looks like we will be using the second floor after all. So we're going to have to run up there and get it figured out. And with the last finishing touches, the build is officially done. All the villagers are in. The second floor is done, and we're going to check it out in just a second. But I want to recap the entire build because I think it looks amazing. Like I said, the interior may need a few more details added in, but I'll do that at a later date, maybe off camera. But you come in, you have all these villagers, you have me welcoming all the guests in, and you have the mini block book, which has basically a table of contents of every block we have available and the category they're in, as well as the villager, specific villager. This took quite a while to organize, actually way longer than I expected, because there was a lot more than I expected, but I think I organized them nicely. So you got the nether and the ores and valuables down here, and then if we go upstairs, new addition, you have lots more villagers. I decided to just go for villagers up here rather than the more open design down there, because, you know, I had a lot to do. But first up, you have the organics. To the right, you have the trees, so the various logs and planks and a few of the leaves, I believe. You get the copper right here, mainly for Ferris. Ferris is a big lover of all the copper stuff. You have all the variations, even the ugly ones. Here we have the miscellaneous category, which is just everything that I couldn't really find a specific... Ooh. This guy wasn't working, but this is just all the items where I couldn't find a proper home for were put into here. Some of them may fit in the others, but they're just easier to throw in the miscellaneous. Some of these got cut off for space reasons too, because I could only hold up to 27 in each. So anyway, these two don't actually have any uses yet. Maybe if they add more down the road, or maybe if they add more mini blocks down the road, we'll use these guys, but for now they're just kind of there. These two are our concrete ones, which I don't know who will use these, but they're definitely there if they're needed. Here you have the cave items, so the various stones basically, and then here you have the workstations and redstone included. So yeah, I mean, this is just self-explanatory. These all kind of fit in the same area, I felt. The redstone may be a bit of a stretch, but I didn't know where else to put it. And then lastly, you have the ocean category with all the corals and like dark prismarine stuff and sea lanterns, etc. Overall, this place looks really, really nice. And I think it's time to move on to the second part of today, which is I want to do another building next to this one. I originally wasn't going to do it, but I think I want to go ahead and at least try my hand at doing the exterior of one. Let's run everything back, and then I'm going to do a bit of research, and I'll come back to you guys when I have a bit of a block palette ready. Okay, so I've gone ahead, I've gotten a few blocks. I think I'm going to go for a more stone-based block palette here with various different types of tuff. Not just normal tuff, also like tough bricks and polished tuff in there too. As well as some stone for just some lighter shades. I also need smooth stone, and not realizing I forgot to grab that, so I have to go get that real fast. But other than that, I'm also going to go for black stone for the roof. We're going to have the dark roof. There's a few more preparation-based things we got to do before I actually build this thing. First of all, this area is going to need a bit of terraforming. I got to flatten the area first of all. And I'll probably have to look at also flattening this mountain a bit. It's going to be painful. So I'll go grab the smooth stone, come back, and then we'll flatten this in a quick time lapse. And then we'll do the building while we're at it. Hey everyone, this is Editor Medulla here, coming at you from the future. I just wanted to say that I was looking in my time-lapse files, and somehow I managed to lose the time-lapse doing this building, so unfortunately I can't show that off. But that's fine, because this video is already getting quite long anyway. So we're just going to cut to immediately after I finish the build, and go from there. Sorry again that you guys don't get to see this time-lapse, but it's fine. And the exterior of building number 2 is done. I really like this building. I don't know if it's as good as the other one. The palette's a bit more dull, but that was kind of the point. Overall, I think it turned out really nicely. It'll look better once I get rid of this stupid mountain. But I'm not doing that this episode because I'm unfortunately out of time. As for the interior, we'll probably tackle that in a different episode. Probably in the next episode. Once I have a bit more of an idea on what I'm going to put in here, I'll go ahead and tackle it. As well as whenever I get the other two buildings set up, because they'll all be connected. We got a lot done, and I'm very happy with how it all turned out. I think they look absolutely amazing, and I think it'll look even better once I get these these backsides covered up because right now they're kind of ugly. Of course, that's the side where everyone's going to be coming in from as well, so that's pretty poor. But as I was saying, that's all I have time for today, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next episode. Goodbye.